For this demo, we're going to use an order management application. This is a very common application throughout our customers that can be leveraged for a variety of use cases, from e-commerce, supply chain, manufacturing, so on and so forth. We're going to be focused on mostly a specific use case from an order management application, which is the order fulfillment process, where we're going to have a sales representative placing an order, the manager approving the order, and ultimately the order is going to be escalated to a financial approver so that the order can be approved or rejected. Throughout the demo, we're also going to be covering some of the capabilities that Fernando mentioned, like workflows, event-driven architecture, and data fabric. Now, what I just mentioned is actually a set of steps that need to be accomplished, that need to be executed to accomplish a given business outcome. And this is exactly what we did with our workflow solution. It's a way that allows you to model your business processes in order to have a set of steps or a set of actions that need to be completed in order for you to achieve a business outcome, in this case, the order fulfillment process. So let's jump right into the workflows. Right here, we can see the OutSystems portal. It can be seen as a unified console where you have access to many of your properties and applications. You can have access, as you can see on the left-hand side, to your applications, to your deployments, monitoring, and additional configurations as well. So let's jump into the workflows and see how we can model this workflow. So for this, we're going to open the order fulfillment workflow. And we can see a couple of properties here, like the producers, the revisions, the instances, which we'll cover in a second. What I really wanted to show you is our editor. Now, I wanted to highlight that business processes usually start from the business. You have the business modeling or designing the process. And this is exactly what we wanted to accomplish. So we built a web-based development environment where your business teams can model the process. And I really want to highlight this modeling part. So here you can see a representation of the whole workflow, the set of steps that need to be executed. But ultimately, the business logic, the UI, the business rules are actually implemented in the applications. What we want to provide here is a way for your business users to model everything related with the workflow. So let's very quickly go over this workflow and through some of the nodes that are here represented in Lowcode. So we start with a node, with the start node. And as you can see here, you have this label, which means that this workflow is going to be triggered whenever this order submitted event is triggered as well. And we'll cover events later down in this demo. What I wanted to say here is that whenever this order submitted event is triggered, the whole workflow is going to start. You can also see here on the right-hand side that you have access to the payload of the event. So you can use the order ID submitted by employee ID and so on and so forth throughout the whole workflow modeling. After the start node, you have what we call a decision node, which based on a given business rule or business decision, you can have several outcomes. So here we're just trying to assess whether the workflow needs manager approval or finance approval. So let's start with the left-hand side with the manager approval. You can see now that we have this send notification, which is what we call an automatic activity. So this is all related with automation. So we want to execute a given task automatically without any sort of human intervention. What happens here is that we're going to send a notification to the manager. And then we're actually going to assign this task to a particular individual. In this case, this manager approval task, we're going to assign this task to the manager. So what happened is that the manager now needs to do some sort of business logic in order to proceed with the workflow. Once this logic is executed, we then again go through another decision that is going to evaluate whether the manager approved or not the order. If it approved, it goes back to this previous node. Otherwise, we're going to have yet another automatic activity with with a rejection statement here. So we're going to send an email to the person that originally submitted the order, and we're going to reassign this activity to the person that submitted it. Now, on the financial side of things, this is very similar to the manager part, so we won't cover this in detail, but if it needs approval by someone from the financial department, it's going to be assigned to someone in the financial department, then can then approve or reject the activity, the order, sorry, or if it doesn't need any sort of approval, or if it has been already approved, it sends an email saying that the order was approved. We ask for a final signature from the sales representative, and we close the order. So let's actually see how this works live. So for this, let's actually open our order management application. So let me sign in with our sales representative, and we're going to place a new order. So here we have our open opportunities. We're going to pick this opportunity. We're going to start adding products to this opportunity. So I'm going to add an electric heater. So 2 units with a 60% discount. And I'm also going to add a chainsaw with a 10% discount. Now, when I click the submit for approval, we're going to trigger that order submitted event that is going to start the whole workflow. So the whole process, the whole workflow that we've just seen. So once I submitted, and if you recall from the modeling, this is now assigned to the manager that needs to approve or reject this order. So let's actually sign in with the manager. As you can see on the right-hand side, we now have this notification. So if we access it, we can see the order that has just been submitted. And I'm actually going to reject this order because the discount is too high. So I'm going to reject, saying that the discount is too high. Please review it. And if you recall from the modeling, this is now going to be reassigned to the sales representative. Before we log in with the sales representative, I actually want to show you some very interesting troubleshooting capabilities we have for workflows. So if we go back to the portal, and if you remember these properties that we've seen here, we have this instances tab. This will allow you to see in real time where does your instance of the workflow stands exactly, and it can help you troubleshoot potential issues that you might have with your workflow. So if we open it up, we have a representation of the flow, and we can see that the workflow started. We had a decision that needed manager approval, so we sent the notification to the manager. We assigned this activity to the manager, to Eddie, and we now have yet another decision where the outcome was no. So the manager rejected the order. So it went back, we got the rejected email, and it went back to the sales representative. So if we now log in with Patricia again, we're going to have a notification, as you can see here. And now we can fix whatever needs to be fixed. So I'm going to update the discount to 50%. And I'm going to resubmit the order for approval. So again, this has now been reassigned to the manager that needs to accept the order. So let's again sign in with Eddie. So we have the notification again. We can check the order. Now we have the discount updated to 50%, and I'm going to approve it. So now the order is pending approval from someone from the finance department. So let's actually log in as a finance representative. We can see again that we have the notification. So let's just access the order, and I'm going to validate it. So we're going to approve it. So now what happens is that we are going to ask for a final signature from the sales representative. So we've now sent a notification to the sales representative, and we've assigned another human activity for the final signature so that we can close the order. So let's, again, sign in as the sales representative. We can see that we have a notification saying that the order is pending a final signature. So let's quickly sign it, submit. And now we've closed this, we've concluded this workflow. So we can see also here on the top that we went through all of these stages and we've concluded the order, the order process. So going back to the editor, I want now to focus on the events. So we can see that throughout the modeling, we have these events. For in order to start the process, we have here the order submitted. We have here events on the manager approval to close and proceed with the workflow. We have here for the manager approval that waits for the order approval decision. We have here the finance review that needs to wait until this order finance review event is triggered. And I really want to talk a little bit about events. So back in March, we introduced events in OutSystems as a way for applications to communicate in a loosely coupled fashion. From an architecture perspective, this empowers teams with full autonomy and independence within their applications. So you can have an ecosystem of applications, each application associated with a team that is fully autonomous and truly owns the application end-to-end from development to production, given that dependencies between applications are loosely coupled. Events also empower applications to communicate in real time in an asynchronous fashion. This comes with all of the benefits from an event-driven architecture that comes with extremely high throughput levels and an extremely high parallelism between many tasks that you can have running simultaneously. So this really allows for a wide range of use cases and a wide range of architectures that you can have across your application portfolio. And the way that we did this, and very true to OutSystems' nature, when we want to abstract all of the underlying complexity of technology, we created low-code events. So you can now represent events as a low-code element. In here, under the Events tab, is where you can manage all of the events that you have in your application. So by just right-clicking, you can add a new event, and you can define a payload to this event. So the attributes that are going to be shared whenever this event is triggered. Then you just need to have applications listening to this event, applications or workflows. We saw that we can have workflows reacting to this event. You can also have other applications reacting to this event. What is happening is that whenever these events are triggered, the applications will react. The applications that are subscribing to the event will react in real time with whatever business logic you have associated with it. And in order for you to trigger the event, again, in true low-code fashion, you just need to drag and drop a low-code element to your business flow. So we now have this trigger event node that you can just add to your flows and just pick the event that you want to trigger. And this is it for events. So we really we really abstracted the complexities of events and all of the underlying technology from the events broker, message queues, and so on and so forth with this low-code elements that you can very easily use across your application portfolio. Now, I also wanted to cover yet another use case that you might have. So again, let's focus on this order management process, and this is very common also from a business perspective, where you might want your finance department having an holistic view over your orders. So they want to understand what are the top orders, what are the top orders by industry, so that they can focus the business on the right, with the right strategy. And usually this is very demanding from IT because usually you have all of this data scattered across many different systems. You might have your in-house ERP, your in-house CRM, your Salesforce, your SAP, your external SQL Server, Oracle database, you name it. And you need to fetch all of this data, aggregate it somehow, combine the data, and make the data available to your end users at the right time with the right governance level. And this is a very, very complex task to do. Data can come in very different formats. Integration may vary according to the external system. So it's really not a straightforward process. And this is exactly what we wanted to solve with our data fabric solution. Our data fabric is a data platform that allows you to not only connect with a wide range of external systems, but we also have a virtualization layer that handles the data all the same, regardless of the data source. Meaning that it doesn't matter if you're using an SAP or a Salesforce account. It doesn't matter if you're using a SQL Server database. All of the data is handled the same with the same low-code constructs, which means that you can fully take advantage of low-code for productivity purposes, for learning purposes, and also the accelerators, the true change to understand whether there are errors in your application, the impact analysis that assess whether you can safely stage applications throughout development to production. And the way that this is done, again, in true low-code fashion, we can see here an example where we are aggregating the data. You can see that we're leveraging aggregates, which are our low-code constructs to query the data. So here we are showing the top opportunities by amount, where we are actually fetching information from a local OutSystems database and an external Salesforce account. And you can use them in a low-code construct. So we're actually mashing up data from two different data sources, and we have access to the information in real time. We can even go a step ahead, or an order of magnitude more complex. We're actually fetching data from two external data sources or many other data sources, and we're combining everything into an aggregate. So here, we're fetching information from SAP and Salesforce, and we are grouping by industry. And you can see again that you have access in real time to this information. And if we go back to our application, if we access here this overview screen, we're actually fetching all of this data and presenting it in a very end-user friendly way. So here we have the top opportunities by amount, where again, we are fetching data from Salesforce and our local database. And we have here our top orders by industry, where not only are we fetching data from Salesforce and SAP, we're actually doing some more advanced SQL statements like group bys and some sorts with some complex filters as well. So this is how Data Fabric can help you take full advantage of your data sources and extend your external data sources with OutSystems.